Hey, I'm Michał Wrzosek, and I would like to talk to you about the library called Next.js Streaming. This is something I recently published on GitHub, and I think it might be interesting for some of you that has maybe similar problems as I do. So this library focuses on Next.js and the RSC, the React Server Components, the new thing that's popping out in our front-end world, and specifically the streaming part. So to give you some backgrounds, I am a heavy user of style components, so CSS in JavaScript, and this is currently not really a viable option for React Server Components because doesn't matter, but you cannot really use style components in server components. Then knowing that, I was looking for some ways to maybe allow me to use server components while still using style components on a client side. And then I was going through the documentation of Next.js and was looking into the streaming, because like the concept of being able to stream parts of the page independently was really interesting for me. But the problem I found is that it like in this concept, the Next.js assumes you are gonna use the suspense with like specific components you want to stream in the places that in your app that they should render. Like as you can see, like for example here they style already the page and they stream the component in the places that this component should render. And what I was looking for was possibility to focus on only on data part in React Server Components, and then stream the data and pieces of this data independently to the client part, and then let the client take care of the styling. I did some hacking and I came up with this library. So here, for example, maybe better here, this is some example Next.js page I did, and if I reload the page, it like from server side, immediately it renders like a main content, like article in this case, and then it starts streaming the navigation, the user part, and some related articles down there. And also you can see that they are like independently being streamed. So like here in my example, this part streams first, then after some time this finishes, and then the last part that takes the most time is the related articles. It is not like they are not being loaded one by one, they are actually being loaded at once. It's just the first that finishes will be visible immediately. So once again, it all loads. This one loads, this one, and at the end this one here. And this is now, this page is using style components. So also if I disable JavaScript, you can see that like the content that should be immediately available in the first pane is there, and there are those parts that should be streamed later. Of course, this would require JavaScript to be enabled. Yeah, okay, so now maybe first how to use this app, how to use this library. So yeah, go to Next.js Streaming on GitHub or npm. The name of the library is same. You just install the library, and then what you do is you are using it in your page. This is the server side, right? So you use the component, you specify what kind of data should be available immediately. So in my case, it was this article, and then you provide the prop called data stream, which is a collection of data data pieces that are some kind of a promise. Like in my example, it's just a fake I'm faking the waiting of 2, 3, and 4 seconds to load some respective types. And then you also provide your client component. So this is this part that actually takes care of UI. So in my case, in my app directory, Next.js, I keep, let me show you. I would keep the page. Yeah, so this is the most important part, and then the client is like a file called client next to the page that uses this use client directive to mark it as a client component. Otherwise it wouldn't work. So this is actually important here, and yeah, it's just a regular component. The only interesting part is the props that it receives. I created the client component props that you can import from the library that allows you to type correctly your component. So in the first part, you specify the data parts that should be available immediately. And the second part is like this data stream part that will be available independently in time. So initially they always be undefined, and then they will become the type that you specify here. So then you can you can receive those two parts as data and data stream, and you can see like the navigation is the navigation item array or undefined. Same for all those. Article is article. It should be available immediately. Yeah, and here nothing fancy. It's just some components that takes the data, like a navigation and the user, and maybe like when the navigation is not there yet or user is not there yet, we provide some kind of a skeleton, like I do here, like this animation of background changing color. Or in the case of article just assumes article is there. Yeah, so but like basically you create your article that client component that has this client directive. This is important to mark. Now it's a client. It can use star components if you are into that. Yeah, and the props has to be exactly like this, otherwise it wouldn't work, because like the types are really coupled here. So for example, if I would not provide user, I would get an error. So because the client specify the props, the rest has to follow. So all the items has to be here. It has to be a promise. Same for this data. It has to be here, and it has to be the correct type. So I hope this would help. Yeah, to make it nice to use this library. And yeah, finally, if you are curious, I can talk about how this library actually works. It's really hacky, I think. The big concept is here actually. So this library actually uses Suspense, but I kind of hacked my way to stream from server the stringified JSON of the data as a content of Suspense, and then on the client side there is a client part of my library that actually just reads the content of some hidden div. And yeah, you can see like it basically takes the text content and then parse the JSON, and also it knows that something changed thanks to mutation observer. Yeah, so it's a bit hacky, but somehow works. If you have some ideas how to improve it, let me know, or open pull requests or issue on GitHub. And I guess that's it. Yeah. See you. Bye.